Hey guys, my name is Morgan and welcome to today's video. Today is going to be a cleanup around the garden. I'm going to fill up these tires, I'm going to cut the grass, so it's just going to be a little bit of a cleanup, and if we have enough time I'm going to transplant my bell peppers into my new raised bed. But before we get on with anything around the garden, I would just like to say a huge thank you to Chores for sponsoring this last piece of the fence. As you can remember in one of my previous videos where I built the fence around this bed, I actually ran out of fencing and I was going to build a fence with some poles. I was going to cut them up and make my own fence, but I just want to say a huge thank you to Chores for sponsoring this last piece of the fence. There we go, that is the last of the extension cords. Now what I need to do is actually disconnect my water storage system because I have these hose pipes that go all along the ground. So what I need to do is just disconnect it over here, and then I can fetch a lawnmower and we can start. So something that I've learned about this lawnmower especially is it's actually got measurements. On the side here there's a little lever that I can use to actually know how long I'm cutting the grass. And I used to cut the grass down to 3-4 centimeters, which was actually a little bit too short. So I've changed it now to 6, which allows the grass to be nice and soft, and it doesn't shock the grass when I cut it too short. If I had to cut it too short, the grass would enter shock mode, and it would rather focus on trying to survive than trying to thrive. So by cutting the grass just a little bit off the top and keeping it nice and soft, and not cutting it down too close to the ground, the grass is then able to carry on growing and spread more runners, and that's how you can get a little bit more of a lush and green grass. The lawnmower is now set up. I've got all my extension cords, I've got my lawnmower to the correct setting and the bin at the back, but before I start cutting I need to wait for the grass to dry up a little bit more. From the morning dew the grass is still a little bit wet, and this is not good for a lawnmower. If you're cutting and the grass is wet, there's a lot of problems that can happen. There can be clogs, there can be the wet grass will form little like tight patches, and the air won't be able to circulate properly through the lawnmower, because what actually happens is as the blades cut, they actually create a vacuum which lifts the grass and then it cuts. So if there are pieces that are blocking the airflow of the lawnmower, you're not going to get a good circulation and you're not going to get your grass being cut nicely. You're going to have patches that are a little bit longer than others, and it's going to more of tear the grass than cut it properly, because your grass is not going to be standing up nice. So I'm going to go inside, make some breakfast, and then when the grass is a little bit more dry, we'll then start cutting. Alright, so we're all ready to start cutting now. The grass has dried up a little bit, and it is not going to clog up anything in the lawnmower, so we can begin cutting now. So there we go, that is the first little piece of the year. The bin is full, so I'm going to take that, I'm going to go down to the bottom bed over there, and I'm going to put a lacquer mulch layer on top. I always use the grass cuttings as a good mulch. It works absolutely perfectly, and it is a good way to have some free mulch. Just cut the grass and use those grass clippings and use it as some good mulch. So let's go down there and mulch up that bed. Now what you could do is actually let those grass clippings dry out, and you can use them almost like a straw. But with me, I don't really let them dry out. I let them dry out on the beds. I find that there's not really much of a point. There's no really real difference with letting them dry out and then putting them over the bed. So as soon as I've cut them, I take them down, I mulch everything up, and eventually it dries out by itself and it still works perfectly fine. And now the next thing is to get the weed eater and trim up all of these edges along the side here where the grass is coming up and it is creeping onto the apron. So all of these long pieces, all of this along here, we're going to be trimming with the weed eater, and then we will be all done and this section will be done for today. Alright, so we have our weed eater and it is now time to weed eat all around the edges. I just wanted to say as well, please make sure if you're weed eating, please make sure you have some decent eye protection. I've just got my sister's sunglasses here just so there's a little bit of something. It is never a nice situation to have something flung up into your eye, especially with a weed eater. So please make sure you've got your protection, and let's get going. Now that all that is packed away, we can carry on with loading the wheelbarrow full of the topsoil and getting it down to the bottom of the garden. Alright, we have our first set of tires completely full. Here we have our first one. We still got two more. And while I was busy, I actually got a little bit distracted and I started working in this this patch of ground over here. I just made it all nice and neat and went around with the spade, took out all the weeds and whatever grass and stuff that was growing in there, and also went around here and just made everything look a little bit neater and just straightened up the edges and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to carry on with getting the second and third. Hopefully we'll have enough soil. We'll see how it goes, but once I've done this, I'm going to call it a day. I'm absolutely tired. It is hot, I'm sticky. It's really not very comfortable to work like this. So I'm going to finish up just getting these two tires full with the rest of the soil, and that'll be it for this video. We are reaching the end of our topsoil. So I'm just going to use a hard metal rake, and we are going to pull the soil a little bit closer to the end here instead of using a spade and picking all of it up and throwing it over. So I'm just going to get this last little bit into the wheelbarrow, down to the bottom of the garden and into those tires. So what I'm going to try and do now is take all the soil, put it in the middle of this carpet. You can actually see that there's a carpet in here. So I'm going to try and put as much as I can in the middle, and then I'm going to pull it out and then just drag the carpet all the way down to the tires at the bottom and then fill it in from there. Instead of loading the wheelbarrow, taking it down and offloading it there. So I'm going to see if I can. If it doesn't work, I'll go back to the wheelbarrow, but I'm going to try and see if I can make work a little bit easier for myself. So it looks like there's still a little bit too much ground in here, because when I pull it out, it seems to be wanting to tilt the trailer down, and I've got my sister standing on that side and it still seems to be doing that. So there's still a little bit of a little too much. So I'm gonna fetch the wheelbarrow. We'll probably do like one more round, and then I'm sure we'll be able to pull it out then. Alright, so that is the end of the soil. Thankfully we were able to get the carpet out, and it was a lot easier to just lift up that little bit, put the carpet in the wheelbarrow and then take it down. So yeah, it's filled up one out of the two tires there. So next time we go out, we'll get a little bit of topsoil and we'll be able to fill this up, and if we're building more raised beds we'll fill those. But yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you really enjoy, and thank you so much for watching.